Shele. Enough is enough. Northern governors demand new strategy to end insecurity. The Northern Governors Forum have declared that the worsening security situation across the region can no longer be addressed with routine meetings and unfulfilled promises, calling for urgent and decisive action to restore peace and protect lives. We are getting there. Little by little, money, the pressure is getting worse. And we are getting closer. Tó bá ti rárá fi balẹ̀, gbogbo oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa mú. Bó bá tẹ̀ wá mú gbogbo everything, wà ní idea nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ genuinely ni o tó ń ṣe irọ́ ni o. Ṣé ní 2026, òun ni àwọn northern governor ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ jí lójú oorun, wọ́n mọ̀ wípé omi ti tẹ̀yìn wọ̀gbìn lẹ́nu. Ọ̀rọ̀ insecurity kò ṣeé dúró wò mọ́, ó ti dójú ẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé President Trump bọ́ síta lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ẹ̀ ó ní wọ́n pa sure sí àwọn terrorist leaders ní northern part of Nigeria wọ́n ṣe codedly àgbọ̀. Mayor wo ọ̀rọ̀ yóò tí ì lè yé àti northern governors àti northern leaders and elders, every one of them, gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n sá kìtìkìtì tó rọ́ kàtàkàtà báyìí láti end ọ̀rọ̀ insecurity. Àṣírí ti tú wọn ò rí bí sásì. The whole wide world ti mọ̀ wípé kò sí any other person, kò sí any other ethnic or tribe nínú Nigeria tó wọ́n alive every other innocent Nigeria citizen. Do northern law. Kò sí anything tí northern leaders and elders, the monarch, their elders and their political stakeholder, kò sí ìkọ̀kọ̀ tí wọ́n fa Nigeria ju alimajiri, terrorism, nǹkan burúkú unalive people, innocent people. Tẹ̀lé mi kó wá gbọ́ àlàyé wọn.
Now take a look at this. Enough is enough. Northern governors demand new strategy to end insecurity. No, let them not demand. Let them continue sitting on the mandates. When the time comes, we are going to know if that exorbitant monthly allocation they're collecting from the mandates is going to save them and save their states.
After the Fulani conquered the northern part of Nigeria, what next? What followed shaped the history of the northern part of Nigeria for what seemed like forever. Pay attention. You see, Uthman Danfodio did not just lead a jihad. No. He founded an Islamic empire called the Sokoto Caliphate. You see, after the conquest of the northern part of Nigeria, the Fulani unified the northern part of Nigeria under Sharia law, Islamic scholarship, and Fulani leadership. They ruled the north from Sokoto to Adamawa. That is why in Nigeria today, you will hear Sharia law, Sharia law. It did not just start today. That is what was used to unify the northern part of Nigeria, the Sharia law, the Islamic scholarship, and the Fulani leadership. You see, Uthman Danfodio, after the north has been conquered between 1804 to 1808, he created a decentralized system of administration in the north. He created Caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate. Some historical evidence pointed out about the Wandu also. So he created emirates in the north and appointed people in charge of each of these emirates. He called them the emirs. So the emirs were in charge of the emirates. So today when you hear the emir of this, the emir of that, that is Uthman Danfodio creation of an institution in the northern part of Nigeria. And by extension, they infiltrated into other geographical space in Nigeria where they conquer. That's why today you can hear the emir of Ilorin, even when Ilorin happens to be in the western geographical location in Nigeria. But they have an emir because they have conquered and what? Decentralized their institution. So people were in charge of positions. They created a system that enabled the payment of taxation. For example, you had the Waziri. He was the head of the officials. They had the Galadima. He was the head of the capital. They had the Madawaki. He was the commander of the army. They had the Dogari. He was the head of the police. They had the Maji. He was the treasury officer. They had the Salikin Ruwa. He was the head of the fishing place. They had the Salikin Father. He was the head of the palace workers. and they had the striking power. It was the head of the butchers, the one you can call abattoir. So to go to abattoir, you have to meet the striking what? Power. To go to the head of the officials, you meet the waziri. To go to the army, you meet the madawaki. To go to the police, you meet the dogari. To go to the treasury, you meet the dogari, treasury officer. So people were in charge of positions. It was decentralized. People were paying taxes, but power and loyalty flowed back to the caliphate, the Sokoto. He made his son, Mohammed Bello, and his brother Abdullahi in charge of the key legions. Some historical evidence pointed out that his son Muhammad Bello was in charge of the Sokoto Caliphate, while his brother Abdullahi was in charge of the Wandu. So these were systems that were there at that point in time. So with time, the Sokoto Caliphate became the biggest and the most organized pre-colonial Islamic state in Africa. But you see, with power came tension. Not everyone accepted the Fulani dominance. Some indigenous groups resisted. They resisted, while others were absorbed into that system. Okay? Now you have to understand that the Fulanese did not just conquer the north. They created an empire. That empire shaped the politics, the religion, and the power structure of the northern part of Nigeria till date. And that empire also shaped the politics, the culture, the history, and the power structure of every region where they found their presence. Like as you can see in Ilorin, that part of Nigeria, even if it happens to be in the west, they still have the emir of that place till date. That's what you need to understand. But you know something happened. The British came in 1903 and everything crumbled to an extent. So if you want me to make a video on how the British came and conquered and introduced their own system while leaving some elements of what the Fulanis created.
Ìwọ yìí láàárọ̀ yín ṣe gbọ́ fídíò yẹn ṣàlàyé yẹyẹ yín dáadáa mo mọ̀ pé ó yé wa látàyé Usman Dafodio títí tó fi dórí Amadu Bello ìyẹn àrọmọdọ́mọ Usman Dafodio olórí Fulani tó láwọn ti kọ́ńkà Nàìjíríà wípé property wọn ni kí gbogbo other Fulani all over the world tó bá ti lè fẹsẹ̀ tẹ Nàìjíríà automatically wọ́n ti become Nigeria citizen torí wọn ò ní territory wọn ò níran wọn máa ń wọ́n tì káàkiri àgbáyé bí Nàìjíríà ṣe wá dídìrín tó tọ́nà pé ń Giant of Africa nígbà kan tó wá jẹ́ wípé Fulani wá rí yín mú ẹ̀yin ni wọ́n wá rí mú ní gbogbo àwọn Africa country tí wọ́n wá mú yín mọ́lẹ̀ tó báyìí is what I don't understand. Kò dẹ̀ tún ṣẹjọ́ wọn náà lọ títí tó bá farabalẹ̀ tó gbọ́ history Nàìjíríà nítorí ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe eradicate history kí àwọn ọmọ tá à ń bí sí àtàwa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ká má mọ̀ kankan nípa Nàìjíríà. Ìlú ọbabìnrin Briti kókó tó wàjà ó ti gbé àṣẹ political Nàìjíríà ó ti gbélé àwọn Fulani lọ́wọ́ oníkan dìímú o kan gáìdì ẹ̀ jealously kan má jẹ́ kan gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn. Hence you see the Fulani today, the Fulani Caliphate, the Northern Caliphate, because àwọn náà ni headed by the Amadu Bello ló dá sílẹ̀. Amadu Bello ló dá Northern Caliphate, Fulani Caliphate headed by him. Gbogbo bó ṣe jọ wọlé fún Tafawa Balewa tó jẹ́ pé òun ló pàṣẹ nínú palace ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé Tafawa Balewa kàn nǹkan tó bá sọ fún òun ló ń ṣe. The same thing yẹn náà ni Sultan of Sokoto Ahmad tó wà ńbẹ̀ the third nsìn tó wà ńbẹ̀ òun náà ló ń ṣe. Ní ayé ìgbà yẹn Amadu Bello ti rí rẹ̀ bíi Minister of Prime Minister Nigeria tó jẹ́ wípé every other person tó bá fẹ́ jẹ́ wọ́n ní láti gba protocol látọ̀dọ̀ ló máa darí. Ìyẹn orí ẹsẹ̀ yẹn òun ni Sultan of Sokoto dúró lé lórí. Ṣùgbọ́n bí mo ṣe ń bẹ sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tó ń gbọ́ àlàyé mi ìlú ti yí orí ti change gbogbo oríṣiríṣi ayé fàmílétè tuntun máa fọwọ́ lálẹ̀ for everybody gbogbo ẹ ti bàjẹ́. Social media wà powerful, social media help wa gan ni o torí tí ò bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ títí láíláí àrọ́mọdọ́mọ wa inú ìgbèkùn inú òkùnkùn àwọn sultan wọn la máa wà. Ní north lára nǹkan tí Tinubu ṣe tó ti ta gbogbo àwọn ethnic tó kù jí wípé ẹ dìde kẹ́ dára yín mọ̀ dá tí ẹ mọ̀ fọ́ọ̀nà lẹ́fi máa jẹ́ wèrè lábẹ́ àwọn Fúlàní tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ population tí Fúlàní gan tí northern bí caliphate tó fi máa ń halẹ̀ mọ́ gbogbo southern àti every other person Nàìjíríà àwọn gangan náà ní population yìí lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá gbogbo tribe náà ti dìde tó ní kálukú tí mọ iye ara wọn tó dẹ̀ ti ń wà outspoken tó bá fẹ́ mọ̀ o kàn ní jókòó sórí àwọn àwa nìkan wàá ní láti máa ṣe research káàkiri ni kó rí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ information kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tó bá wá rí bí ọ̀rọ̀ ṣe ń lọ wàá rí wípé ní 2026 tá wà yìí agbára Sultan of Sokoto ó ti wálẹ̀ wọ̀ gbogbo àwọn ní born to rule àwọn náà ní Nàìjíríà wọn Nàìjíríà is not negotiable fún àǹfààní ara ẹni o torí wọ́n rí wípé Nàìjíríà is under his control any president tó bá jẹ́ Nàìjíríà tí ò bá fi tí wọ́n ṣe tí ò gba protocol wípé òun fẹ́ ṣèjọba òun ti ní template òun ti ní nǹkan tóun fẹ́ wá ṣe ibẹ̀ ṣe máa ń fìjọba tó fi ń ní lára tó ní jẹ́ kó fẹ̀dọ̀ lórí òróró tọ́kàn aráàlú ò ní balẹ̀ òun ni wọ́n ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ àwọn Sultan ni ṣùgbọ́n inú tèmi dùn láti ìgbàdo olóró sẹ́ẹ̀ mo sì ń tẹnu mọ́ ìjẹ́ ẹ tún gbọ́ torí orin tí Sultan máa kọ́kọ́ kọ ní gbogbo outing tó bá ti lọ nìyẹn one Nigeria is not negotiable because ó believe pé ó wà London òun property òun ni òun lòun ṣe àwa Southern àwa ládẹ ń jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó ní positive name orúkọ ìwọ̀nba orúkọ tó wà positive tí Nàìjíríà ṣì ń jẹ́ bó tó man abroad lénìí àwa Southern là ń ṣe kì í ṣe àwọn tó bá fi dá Sultan of Sokoto the Northern Caliphate ọba yíjọ òbí tí so lẹ́rùn ni wọ́n they have nothing positive to offer Nigeria. Keep mentioning this. If you said I'm lying, please mention one or two, three things upon how many years they have been grabbing and they have been sleeping, dying and went with that political power that the British gave to them, that asked them to be guiding it jealously. What have been the positive thing that you and myself as a Nigerian citizen have benefited from these people? Nothing politically. They gave us Alimajiri. They gave us terrorism. They are unalive Nigerian citizens because of their own selfish gain and greediness. They have nothing to think, okay, let's sit on the round table. We are the one holding this political power. It is the time has come for us to move Nigeria forward. No, instead they are driving Nigeria backward. As a matter of fact, kí gbogbo Nigeria kó lè jọ wá pátápátá sí abẹ́ Sultan of Sokoto kó lè jẹ́ overall bàbá wa òun ló fẹ́ dàbí Ayọ́tọ́lá ti Iran ó fẹ́ sọ Nigeria bí Iran ṣe rí. Àwa sọ fún ìwọ Southern ó jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ kó wọ etí ẹ òun pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ̀já wúrà ẹ má dọmọnù pẹ̀lú omi ìwẹ̀ mo ṣe ń tún sọ ẹ má dọmọnù pẹ̀lú omi ìwẹ̀ tẹ bá ètò Tinubu economically gbogbo ìlú òrẹ́rìn abroad òrẹ́rìn oníkálukú wá fi mọ́ra ni tó tẹ̀lé mi kó tó wá gbọ́ fídíò yìí.
I saw this post on Punch that says that a bill seeking a return to a regional system of government for Nigeria will be transmitted to President Bola Tinubu next week, Saturday. Punch has exclusively gathered. Now, I don't know how this is true. I just saw this image online and I just feel like, let me just throw it for your plate. Now, you see this thing. If Tinubu is able to pull this shit out, man, Tinubu is the greatest. I swear to God, because this is actually, for me, if I'm the president, this is what I'm going to do as well. Let South be in charge of their resources and everything coming from South. We want to have a prime minister that will represent the South. We're going to have in the Southeast, Southwest, Central, North or Northwest, I don't know how they're going to share it. Then each of this region is going to have a prime minister that sits on the table with one president that answers like United States of Nigeria. Do you understand?